never do really come to that because Americans in 2011 spent $20.64 billion on home security systems. If you won the lottery last night, you couldn't afford to pay for everybody's security in America. That was in 2011. An outfit by the name of Markets and Markets determined that they expect that industry to grow to $34.46 billion this year for home security systems. I had a guy come in here about 3 weeks ago maybe, and he was selling security systems. He's actually looking for the bar next door. That's how long it had been since they'd had somebody in this area. And so he came in and he was asking about the building next door, and I said, yeah, that's what you're looking for, but it's been gone for a long time. And he said, well, have y'all ever considered, with the times we're living in and burglaries as frequent as they are, have y'all ever considered a security system? I said, well, I'm sure there's a cost to that, and I said, we have insurance. So if somebody does break in, I said, we live in the county, and I said, so if you set up a security system and the alarm goes off, by the time anybody even knows the alarm is off, then people are done and gone, and they're already down at the petrol having a cup of coffee. He said, well, we can set it up where it alerts you first. I was like, okay, and what's the benefit in that? Now it becomes my problem ahead of time. I said, you know what, insurance covers whatever anybody can do, and we have insurance, so there's really not. But see, this is something that we really, without even thinking about it, we try to create a safety. There's been a few times that I've had the privilege of going to driver safety training. And in those classes, we're taught that when we drive, we have what is just like an invisible field or an invisible area that we consider we're safe in. And somebody encroaches in that area, then we get unsafe. Dessa doesn't like driving by those barriers, those concrete barriers. Those get her too close to her safety zone. She don't like being, so she'll drive a lane away from them. But we have this constant and nonstop thing about us that we always need to have this safety. But let's go to Psalms 4 and verse 8. Psalms 4 and verse 8. Amazing little verse right here. I will both lay me down in the peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. If you really want to have safety, if you really want to experience that you're looking for safety, there's only one place that you're going to find it, the psalmist says. Thou alone, Lord, is my safety. I can lay down at night and I can go to sleep and I can sleep in peace because I know you're looking out for me. The little prayer we all learned when we was kids, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Not my gun, not my dog, not my fence, not the lights. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I shall die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. We're taught that at a very young age. And we're given that. I think about how many children are taught that prayer. And as we get older, we kind of wash that away and start to count on something else. I don't say the little prayer, Lord, now lay me down to sleep. I go check all my windows before I go to bed, and then I'm good. And I forget to say my little prayer about, Lord, only you are my safety. I can lay down at night and I can go to sleep because I know you're going to protect me. And if something does happen to me, you're going to be there when it does. And you're going to take me out of whatever it is. See, David says, thou alone only makest me dwell in the safety. There's only one place that I'm going to find safety is in the Lord. And so we think about that and how we drift away from it in our life, and as we get older, we look on other things to keep us safe. But how do we get back to that spot? How do we get back to that place? We have to get back to that place the same way we got there the first time. We have to begin to teach ourselves the same way our parents taught us. We weren't just born knowing that prayer. Our parents taught us word by word, memory by memory, till we memorized that little prayer to where we go tonight and we can say that prayer. And we have to do that again. We have to begin to memorize the word that is going to provide our safety. We got to begin to spend time get to know God, and this is where we get to know Him right here. Spending time in this Word, spending time reading, spending time praying, spending time with Christian people, spending time in Bible study, spending time doing those things, getting that Word. David says, I will bury that Word deep in my heart. Or when I bury it deep in my heart, then I find that safety. Then I have that comfort that I had when I used to kneel down as a child and say that prayer. I can have that comfort, I can have that peace, I can have that safety today if I remember where it came from. As I was taught when I was young, now I have to learn again as I'm older. I have to renew that communication and that relationship with the Lord that I trusted in then. I have to know that where my safety is going to come from. What's going to provide my safety? And how I can relax and feel comfortable in it, not even being able to, having that kind of trust and that kind of confidence in the relationship with the Lord starts off with a little bit of a risk. We have to take a little bit of a risk. To risk is to willingly place your life in the hand of an unseen God and on an unknown future, and then watch Him come through. That's a little bit of a risk that you're going to have to take. You're going to have to just cast all your cares upon Him and let Him begin to work in it, because as He begins to work in it, now my faith begins to grow a little stronger. Now I can kneel down at night and I can say my prayer, and I can go to bed and I can sleep, as David talked about in the Psalms. I can rest and I can sleep peaceably because I know where my safety is going to come from. I know the one that's watching out for me, and I have a relationship with Him, and I've spent time with Him, and I've taken the risk of just giving myself over to Him without even being able to see Him. Whenever Thomas came and he told Jesus, he said, well, I believe now because I've seen. And Jesus said, blessed is the man that believes without seeing. You got to put your faith in an unknown God, in an unknown. Here I am, Lord. Watch out over me. You know where I am. I think of David, all the nights he spent out in the desert, and all the nights he spent out in caves, hiding out from Saul. Somebody was hunting him. There was a whole army of people hunting for him. And yet he can write a psalm like that. I lay me down at night and I sleep in peace because I know the one that's watching out for me. We see so many things going on in our world today, and so many things happening, and it's Satan's way of trying to create some kind of fear, to make you afraid, to make you feel unsafe. Korea is going to shoot off a nuclear weapon. They're going to hit somewhere, and they can reach the United States, and they give you all the signs to make you as unsafe as they can possibly make you. All this is going to happen. That's going to, California and Washington are going to fall off, and Yellowstone's going to blow up, and Korea's going to blow us up, and there's ISIS all over the world, and they're in your neighborhood, and on and on and on and on. Fear, 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 fear. I shall not fear. Though a wall of fire be about me, He is my peace, He is my safety, He is my comfort. And He will walk me through every day of the life that He has planned for me. And if I stay close to Him, if I remember where my peace and my safety comes from, then I don't have to worry about it. I know I have given my life. I've taken that risk, and I've given my life to Jesus, and He has begun to show me His grace and His mercy and His comfort, and I don't have to be afraid of anything. I don't have to be afraid of anything at all. Even when the dog barks, I don't have to be afraid. See, that we've talked about it so many times. We're going to operate either in a realm of fear or a realm of faith. There's only two places to be. You can't be in one or halfway in one or the other. You're either in fear or you're in faith. You're even believing God is going to trust. You can trust God. I can lay down at night and I can sleep in peace. You're either believing that, or you're believing I better check the windows before I go to bed. We have to begin to work on restoring that confidence. We were talking about Trump earlier this morning, and how all the attacks that he has and everything that's come against him as a president. Talking with Lance and Terry yesterday down at Sam's, and all the attacks, and yet the man just stands tall. He just stands firm. He just stands there. You can throw all the darts, you can throw all the rocks, you can say all you want to do. For me, that's the epitome of a Christian. Stand tall and don't let the fear overtake you. All of these things are going to come at you. Fiery darts of the devil, the Bible calls it. He's standing there to attack. He's waiting for you to turn your back for a moment, and he's going to attack. And when he attacks, you can either give in to the attack, or you can say, no, here I stand. I know the one that provides my safety, and I know the one that provides my protection, and I walk with him, and I stay with him, and I don't get away from him, because I know when I do, the attack is coming, and I may not be ready for it. I have to learn to walk with Jesus. When the Bible talks about walk even as he walked. Wouldn't it be amazing that Scripture says walk even as he walks, with an S instead of a D? Walk even as he walks. Walk with him just as Elijah did, just as Abraham did, just as Moses did. Every day spending that time with the Lord, in his word in the morning, in his word in the middle of the day, in his word in the afternoon. Lord, I want to walk with you. I want to spend every minute I can with you, because you are my safety. All that other millions and billions of dollars and dogs and guns and all that provide safety for someone else. I don't need that. My safety comes from the one that's in charge of all of that. My safety comes from the one that owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. My safety comes from the one that's the king of all nations, the Bible says. The king of all nations. He was and is and will always be. ADT is going to go broke one of these days. I think about that. You have the little, my home's secured by ADT. And you go on the website that says ADT went broke today. Wow. What if you took the gun, the sign down that says nothing in this house is worth dying for, and put up a sign that said the one in this house was worth dying for, and he died for me. The death has already happened. Jesus Christ died for my sins. He's the one that provides my protection. And no one, nowhere, no how has any power over him. He is the King of all kings and the Lord of all lords. He is my safety. He is my buckler. Over and over and over, the Scripture tells us that our safety is within him. And we look to other things. We look trying to find another way. Well, I feel a little safer. And I'm as guilty as anybody. Go to bed at night and check the doors. Why? Do I not believe in the one that can? I mean, I'm not saying that you have to go jump off a cliff and see if he's going to save you, because he's probably going to, well. We do have to be responsible. We do have to look to him for guidance, not test him. But allow him to show us the way to walk. Allow him to give us direction and listen to his direction. That's how he provides safety, putting us in a safe place. How many times has something happened to you? Boy, I just barely missed that one. No, God just got me out of the way just in time. God moved me just in the right amount of time. This is one of the times that God fixed stupid. When I was working at the livestock auction in Wilcox, we had a pen right outside the scale for the little calves and the little ones that you couldn't horseback back to a pen, and maybe a crippled cow or something. So when they come off the scale, we just run them right in 101 right there. Well, I was a pen back and checkout boy, so the guy brought me his paperwork and he'd bought a little calf. And there was no doubt in my mind that little calf was in 101. Well, while I was over there doing something else earlier in the day, they had put a cow and a calf in there as a pair. And the little calf was too little to walk back, so they just put the cow and the calf in there. Well, this old cow wasn't a real nice cow. I didn't know she was in there. So the guy handed me the paperwork, I look at it, I clip it on the wall, and I just bail over that fence like I got good sense. And I go running out there to find this little calf, and the next thing I know, about from here to Sandra, there's a cow standing there with her head down looking at me. Now I realize I'm not in a real good situation. And I began to walk backwards because I didn't want to take my eyes off that cow. And I began to walk backwards, and she began to run. And she ran right straight at me. And I got to the fence, and I hit the fence, and at that time she was about less than an arm's length away. And there was only one, I know why. The Lord stopped her in her tracks right there. I could feel her breath on my shirt. And she was standing there. And she took 2 steps back, and I kicked my feet up over the fence, and I was gone. But I was amazed. When I got my breath back, and I got on the other side of the fence, and I got into a safe where I was safe again, I realized God looks out for you no matter who you are, no matter where you are. If you're trusting Him, He's going to look out for you. In a situation that you can do nothing about. I could have just as easily been dead. Crushed chest. That quick. And the other pinbackers just goes, why'd that cow stop? I don't know. God just fixed stupid. But see, He is our safety. He can provide safety in a way that we can't even buy. Money can't buy that. Money can't buy that. He wants to show you how He can protect you. He wants to spend time with you. He wants you to trust Him so He can show you, yeah, I got it. No matter what happens, I really can do that. All the stories in the Bible about the Hebrew children and Daniel, that's true. That really happened. I can really do that. I did that then, and I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever, and I can still do it today. They can put you in a lion's den today, and if you're trusting the Lord, and He don't want nothing to happen to you, nothing's going to happen to you. They can throw you in a fiery furnace today, and if God doesn't want anything to happen to you and you're trusting Him, nothing will happen to you. He's not different. Those just aren't old stories about what did happen back then that don't happen anymore. He still protects people in amazing situations. I've known people that have had car crashes and you see their car and it's just a mangled mess and they didn't get hurt at all. God can do amazing things still. He's not going to stop. He wants to show you how He loves you. He wants to show you how much He can protect you. And He wants you to count on Him for your safety. And rely on Him. And do like the psalmist said, do like David said, I can lay down at night and I can sleep in peace. Because the Lord only provides my safety. I'm counting only in Him. I'm not going to be foolish about things, but I'm counting on Him. Not on anything else. I remember Bert, when that dog attacked her, she told me, she said, I just laid there and began to pray. And the dog left. Right, Bert? God can do it. You got to learn to trust Him. You got to learn to put your faith in Him. And Him only, the psalmist says, only He can provide my safety. Let's go to Proverbs 8. It's learning to trust Him just like we did when we were little kids. Now I lay me down to sleep. I used to would not go to bed without saying that. Because He gave me a sense of security. He gave me a sense of peace. He gave me a sense of something I couldn't get any other way. And as we grow, we get away from that. As we grow, we get older and wiser. We think we need to tell God what to protect me for overnight. When He already knows. He just wants me to trust Him. That's all. That's my part. As David said, I'll lay down tonight, Lord, and I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to sleep in peace because I know You're watching out for me. Period. Doesn't need an explanation, doesn't need a definition, doesn't need anything else. Just trust. Proverbs 8:17. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Those that seek me early shall find me. Jesus says, the Lord says, I love those that love me. And if you love something, you will sure take care of it. You sure protect it. He is your safety. Count on Him. Trust Him. Begin to reteach ourselves and say, you know what, my safety's in the Lord. I don't have to be afraid. When you're in town and somebody says, did you hear what happened? Yeah, I heard about it. We're praying for them people. Well, aren't you afraid? No, I'm not afraid. Because Jesus watches out for me. And whatever He wants to happen, however it's going to happen, I know however it happens is best for me because He looks out for me. Go to Deuteronomy 4, verse 29. But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord thy God, thou shalt find him if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. It's not like, God, are you here?